Hey there guys, this is Obsidian Chill. Got another video for you today, and this is coming from the test server, part of episode 41, House of Legends. We are in the House of Legends at the new pet vendor, Shang Zhu, which is the final boss in the Oolong Island alert, if you remember him. Now, first thing you'll recognize is that the icon is different now for the regular pets. Now it's a little doghouse, and the 3 just denotes tier 3. But the main change is the pet vendor itself. So we have 2 brand new pets, Juvenile Phoenix and Controlled Starro. And then all the other pets that were originally T1 are now tier 2, and all the pets that were tier 2 are now tier 3. So that means that anyone can have access to tier 3 pets. They do the exact same damage. How it works is that, say I want Juvenile Phoenix. I have to obtain all the normal and elite mode headlines for Amazon Fury Part 3 episodes. That means I have to run Olympus and Gods and Monsters, regular and elite. And once you do that, you have the chance to buy Juvenile Phoenix for 700 source marks. Same thing for if we do like the Vampire Bat. You have to do the regular and elite mode headlines for Justice League Dark. Brainiac Drone. That's the anniversary event. That's not really that helpful. Well, I should mention that Father and Mother Box, normally they are on the vendor, but on Wonderverse, but they are going to be removed from the vendor as of live, and then you have to get them from here. But for example, the reason why this is handy is that if you do Flash the Future Elite, you have the chance for the Brainiac turret to drop. If it doesn't drop, you can't get it. Then you have to go to the broker and buy it there for whatever price it's at. Here, you can run you just have to run Elite once just to get the headline, and regular. You run that, then you can just buy it for 700 source marks. So it's a much easier path to get these trinkets now, and they do the exact same damage. I'll show you in the spreadsheets. It's not like if you got it from the raid or got it from this vendor, if it's any different. No, they're the exact same pet. The source marks, the survival mode pets are not on this vendor. They are only dropping from survival mode. And the same thing, it's a little bit harder to get like the antimatter one and Brainiac Drone because obviously you have to have the headlines from the anniversary event, which only comes in January. Everything else you can pretty much do. And then as you can see here, or if this is test server so you can't see, but on live server, if you've already beaten these headlines and have them unlocked, then you'll be able to buy any pet. So for new players or players that don't have everything already, like endgame players, whatever, like the new thing that you'd have to buy is if you want Juvenile Phoenix and Controlled Starro. These T3 ones, obviously you most likely have already beaten GOM and Olympus in the past, Gods and Monsters and Olympus Elite. But if you want that actual pet to use, then you'd still have to buy it from this vendor. And there's no like feats associated with it. It's just as the tier 3. And then you can technically sort it, the mobile pets. You can sort it by tier 2, tier 3, tier 1. Area effects with like the actual turret ones. So you can search, the vendor has pretty much every single way you want to search for it. But that's essentially this pet vendor now. So you can buy the tier 1 pet, you can use that. Then you can eventually get the upgrade and get the tier 2 for 400 source marks. And eventually a player can work their way towards the tier 3 ones. So that's the new pet vendor system as shown by Sharon. So let's jump to the spreadsheet and show you actually what these pets will do. Okay, so we got the tier system here. This is going to be AoE. These are all tested at CR 339. And then the highlighted ones, these are the new pets, a part of episode 41. So these are the pets that you wouldn't have existing on live server right now as of watching this video. So that's why you don't have like a Juvenile Phoenix or Controlled Starro tier 1 or a Dark Construct Bat, because the Dark Construct Bat was originally tier 2. So now there's you have the tier 2 version, but now there's a tier 1 and tier 3 version for Dark Construct Bat. And the tier 2 ones, we have all the old T1 ones. The only one thing I couldn't test is the gem turret. This is the one that drops off QE. It just wasn't on the tier 2 one wasn't in the box, but I mean, it's not a big deal. It's already tested, very tier 3, etc. So if you're worried about the tier 2 one, it's going to be similar damage. So looking more, like I'm going to kind of glance over the tier 1 and tier 2 ones. As you can see, a tier 2 is still plenty powerful. So this is at CR 339 on 3 targets. So obviously you're going to be 342 gear or higher with this episode. So it's going to be much higher than 700,000. So even if it's a tier 2 player, you can still do, really good pet damage. And it's not a huge difference, like I said before, between the tier systems. So 679 to 706 to 749. So right now, the best in class or best in show trinkets have somewhat changed. The boxes have been buffed and the Brainiac drone. So before it was Nightmare Bat. If you watch my old video, Nightmare Bat was the highest. And now, I mean, Nightmare and Shadow Bat kind of a wash. It's only like 1K difference. But it is a fairly big jump from Father Box, Brainiac drone, and Mother Box. So those are now the highest on AoE. And if we jump to single target, same thing. Brainiac drone, Mother, and Father Box. So those are basically the top 3. I mean, Controlled Star was like same thing, like 1K difference. Nightmare Bat is like that's like a 1-2K difference. So it's not like a giant night and day difference between these pets. But if you did want to know what was best, it's now going to be Father and Mother Box. And like I said before, they're no longer going to be on the Wonderverse vendor. So just make sure if you want those already, you buy them. If not, then you have to fork out the 700 source marks for them. But that's it. I mean, I didn't want to have this like a super long video because, I mean, you guys have seen plenty of my pet ranking videos and pet spreadsheets. So don't need to bore you to tears with that. But just so you know, plenty of new pets to be able to get. If you're a player that doesn't run Elite that often, all you have to do is run it once, and then you can work towards buying the tier 3 pet. So it makes it much more accessible for all players to have this. And then if you want to still use like the Source Lightning Eagle and the Source Lightning Shard turret and the Freeze turret, like the SM ones, Shadow ones, to be unique like Shadow Badge, Shadow Snake, you can still do that because there's no way to earn those besides being in survival mode. So any other questions in terms of the pet damage, you can put that in the comment section below, and we'll see you in the next video, guys.